Hello everybody, I am the Rant Weekly, and this is my weekly rant. This one is going to start with a disclaimer. Not in any way do I underappreciate what the NHS does for people. All of my anger towards it that is fueled in this rant is going from a very deep and personal place, from gross incompetence, from doctors and so-called professionals that work in a hospital, which will not be named. The NHS is very beneficial and it's very helpful, and I'm glad we have it. But this situation has kind of made me doubt a lot of things when it comes to the quality of the healthcare we're receiving. So, 2 years ago, my mum found something unusual with her, monthly. She found that she wouldn't stop bleeding. That was 2 years ago. Around end of last year, they found out she had a non-cancerous tumour in her stomach. She had an operation to get it removed. We thought that was the end of it. She also got a coil at some point in there. Bleeding got worse. My mum became sick. And it turns out they hadn't done the operation properly. And the fibroid had grown back even bigger and it filled the entirety of her womb. Now that in itself shows that they didn't do any checks to make sure that they had done a complete job. So they completed the job about 3-4 months ago, over the course of 5-6 operations. Well, counting all of the operations she's done, she's had about 5. So about 4 operations on the fibroid to get rid of it, because it kept growing bigger, and there was multiple cores. They did eventually get it out. The bleeding has stopped. But that's not all that happened. They did a scan that should have been done the first time the fibroid was removed, to check if anything was wrong with my mum. And they found a shadow over her kidney. Had a test. My mum had stage 1 kidney cancer. Months passed until Tuesday this week, when my mum had an operation to have the kidney removed, because luckily the tumour hadn't grown. Well, it hadn't spread, but the kidney had to be removed. Had they done these scans earlier, had they done these tests earlier that they probably should have, they probably would have found the tumours a lot quicker and been able to just remove the tumours instead of removing my mum's whole kidney. COVID has hit, obviously, pretty hard. They tried stopping my mum's operation for a year at one point, but that didn't go through because she was having nearly weekly blood transfusions at the time of the fibroids. And yeah, COVID says that you can't really keep patients in for longer than they need to be. This is where the rant comes in. Because after an operation removing a kidney, you're going to need a lot of rest to make sure you're okay. My mum was not okay, and they let her home, knowing that she shouldn't have been let home. The first time, they got stopped by a expert, someone who knows about people who donate their kidneys, because you only need one to live. So people donated one of their kidneys so someone else can have a kidney, and they said, yeah, these surgeries, they have to be in the hospital for a couple of days just to make sure that they can pass like pass poo, they can have poo, they can have a wee, making sure that they're healthy. My mum was apparently the exception to this because they let her home anyway. She's been in agony, hasn't been able to use the toilet whatsoever. Thought nothing, I think she's just healing. But then it hit again because she's back in hospital, undergoing tests. She's in danger because she hasn't passed waste like you should pass waste, and it means something's wrong. Something has gone wrong. They've got to do tests to figure out what has gone wrong because they can't find a blockage. It's not constipation, there's nothing blocking her digestive system. So they've got to do more tests. And word for word, they said that she shouldn't have been sent home in the first place. I'm grateful for the NHS. For 18 years of my life, I had to take medication, and I got that for free, and it took a hefty weight off my shoulders. You know, the NHS helped my nan through cancer before she unfortunately passed away. The NHS helped my granddad through cancer before he unfortunately passed away. The NHS helped when my uncle Mark started suffering with I think it's MS he's got. The NHS helped through all of that. But this has hit me hard because this is my mum. This is the person who raised me. One of the most important people in my life. And the fact that mistake after mistake after mistake, even simple mistakes, like she should have been kept in hospital because she had a massive operation. She's in critical condition. My mum can't even stand up on her own. She needs help because she's in that much pain. But yet they thought, no, she can walk, she can go home in a bumpy car ride home. As much as I love what they do, what's going on right now shouldn't be happening. They're supposed to help people. I know COVID's a big thing right now, but my mum needs the help. Regardless of COVID, this is affecting her life. COVID took my nan only died because she couldn't have her chemo because the hospital stopped doing it because of COVID. And I know I'm probably not the only person that's had that happen to them. I'm not the only person that because of COVID has lost a family, not to the virus, but to the hospitals just stopping treatments, stopping operations. They stopped saving lives to save more lives, where the elderly, the sick, the people who have terminal cancer, who need help the most, are neglected for a virus that, yes, is killing a lot of people, but they're being neglected. And I don't think it's something we should stand for. I think that I think just make people better again. Don't just wait until things are done and then send them on their way. Make sure they're okay. All of this stuff with my mum could have stopped happening at the start of this year. But it didn't. Because mistake after mistake after mistake. This isn't a rant of anger. This is a rant of sadness, really, because my mum is in hospital right now and I can't even go see her. I can't visit my mum. And if anything happens to her in the hospital, I don't know. The last words that I ever spoke to my mum would have been, "Mum, I don't have time to brush my hair. And I can't stand the thought that something might happen. This, it could, as I said before, it could have been stopped months ago. All of this could have been stopped months ago. My mum could be living a happy, healthy life, but instead, she's not. She's stuck in a hospital where they're not even allowed to go out. Not for a break, not for nothing. They're confined in a singular room, like a prison. And their only escape is when they've been discharged. Even if that means they've been discharged too early. I have been the Ranter Weekly. This has been my weekly rant.